I just think, like, I don't get really caught up too much in the starting. I would like to see Shedeur play a fair amount of the game. Who starts and who doesn't start, I don't know that matters as much to me.
No, that's not the deal breaker. The deal breaker for me is the understanding that every rep that Tyler Huntley takes is a rep taken away from Shedeur, and every rep taken for Tyler Huntley is a rep that is, in my opinion, just a lost rep.
So do you just not trust the Browns with Shedeur's development?
Yeah, in many ways. Sure, I think that's part of it. If they go the route that is being suggested there, where it goes Tyler Huntley plays way too much of that game, and Shedeur Sanders, you got to wait until the third quarter because apparently we have to treat him like a Fabergé egg. He's just so delicate. He can't possibly be thrown in the mix for a good portion of this game. I mean, and yes, I will start to question what their process is. And it's not like they've given us in the past a bunch of reason to believe that they know what they're doing in the development stature.
So the thing that I would say, though, is it would be unlike, like, a team that is methodical about doing something a specific way. It would be interesting to see two hamstring injuries be the thing that all of a sudden cause them to hit, stun mode or hit like a different mode of movement on Shedeur's development.
I just think it's a good opportunity. I think it's a good opportunity for Shedeur to get a lot of reps. Reps are ultimately is going to be where the growth comes from. I'm convinced they care more about what happens in the joint practice than they do the preseason game anyway. And so if you buy into that logic, this would be a great opportunity for Shedeur to have as many chances to showcase what he can do and also get better in the process.
As Switzerland on the show, I think if he's going to start or if he's going to get 3 quarters on Friday, he better get a lot of reps in the next 3 days. That's just where, specifically with the joint practices tomorrow, you need to give him the kind of reps. If, and this is a big if they're right in thinking they're still in the confidence building stage of his development. I made this point earlier. It's apparent that they're doing the stress test with Dylan. They're not stress testing Shedeur at all. They're in the, let's give him 4 or 5 controllable reps. Let's build that confidence. And let's, let him do the little things, getting in and out of the huddle, pre-snap reads, all that kind of stuff. It would be interesting if you don't give him those reps in the next 2 days, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of throwing him to the wolves on Friday.
Well, on Friday,
because I think there is a time naturally where you should throw him to the wolves. Following their logic, I don't know now is it.
So I guess I wonder, though, is like tomorrow, are we going to have Pickett and Gabriel be playing in any sort of fashion? I would imagine I've not heard one way or another whether we are or aren't.
I mean,
would imagine they would.
Yesterday, so
I think the Browns care about what happens tomorrow way more than they care about what happens on Friday. What I'm trying to stress, though, is the idea that Shedeur Sanders has an open runway, and if the Browns try to limit or try to hold him back in any sort of way, that's where I'll start to believe something isn't on the up and up, because Shedeur should be playing 3 quarters into the 4th quarter on Friday, because Tyler Huntley doesn't do anything for this team. So his snaps do not matter.
This is where we kind of marry the Tyler Huntley news and the Shedeur news together, because on the heels of the Browns signing Tyler Huntley, RG3 said that Shedeur is being set up to fail. And it's a little tough to maybe pay full service to that, considering RG3's not in Berea and he has not been watching he's kind of been watching from a much more detached remote version than us. I do think if Shedeur doesn't play 3 quarters this weekend, I think you're going to have a lot more people echoing what RG3 said, and you kind of admitted that that's going to happen too.
For sure. I will start to believe that something isn't on, it's not on the up and up. Something is seriously wrong with how the Browns are treating Shedeur if you have Tyler Huntley start the game and play a majority of snaps over Shedeur Sanders, because it just doesn't make any sense. There's no benefit for Tyler Huntley playing any of the snaps on Friday.
Except to maybe the starters. I do think you're discounting that a little bit. The idea of the offensive line, the running backs, and the wide receivers, their ability to perform and to put good tape out there is predicated on who the starting quarterback is.
Well, I mean, again, this comes back to the idea. I think we just have a difference of opinion about where Shedeur Sanders could be right now. If you can't trust Shedeur to just operate a basic offense and be able to run in a preseason game against the Panthers, then he is leaps and bounds way beyond what we were able to witness, me and you, when we were out there at training camp in those few days.
I mean, listen, I think if you didn't have Dylan Gabriel, I think Shedeur would have gotten a fair amount of snaps already. I do think there's a correlation between the opportunities Dylan's getting and the opportunities Shedeur isn't. And I think that is very much I think they're doing that deliberately. And whether that is in good faith, which is we think Dylan's ready and Shedeur isn't, or whether this is all tied back to maybe maybe somebody didn't want Shedeur in that room in the first place. Maybe somebody still isn't sold on Shedeur. Where it's tough for me is I think certain members maybe of the head coaching staff came in with a specific thought about Shedeur from the pre-draft. And I think it's interesting that nothing the kid has done, and by all accounts, he's done all of his work. He's done all the right things.
Right.
He's clearly doing all the right things with fans in terms of how he engages. He's doing a lot of the things right. It's interesting that those things haven't led to some sort of breakthrough when Kenny Pickett got hurt and Dylan Gabriel started getting all these opportunities. So I think it's interesting. I necessarily don't think they should still be holding him back off of things that happened in the pre-draft process. I think at some point you got to get over your original evaluation. But I do think like when RG3 says he's being set up to fail, I think they would beg to differ. I think they would beg. We're trying to make sure we don't ruin the kid.
They would, and
by
listen,
putting him out there.
And I've given him every benefit of the doubt so far up until this point. On Friday, I want to see Shedeur Sanders out there. I need to see Shedeur out there. And this is the opportunity that if you're trying to give him chances to prove himself, they're sitting right there in front of you. This is it. And I have a hard time thinking that Shedeur is going to have a harder time than Snoop Huntley in trying to be able to run an offense and get things all set and ready to go.
Tyler Huntley's been in the NFL for 6 or 7 years, and he has started meaningful NFL games. I don't think it's that ridiculous to think he might have more experience in a way that Shedeur just doesn't have yet.
I think logic needs to take over this conversation here, though. Like, logically, if you think that Shedeur Sanders is nowhere close to being able to just be able to do a simple offense and be able to, as if he would drag them down so much, then I think we're missing the plot a little bit.
I mean, is interesting that we might be missing the plot there. I think, I just think if you follow what the Browns have been doing, there's a very specific way they're doing it. I understand why people like RG3 look at this and go that, oh, there must be nefarious intentions. They just listen.
I mean, it's not week 3 against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? It's not week 7 against the Bills. It's a week 1 in a preseason game.
When you're still trying to evaluate the rest of your roster,
but it matters.
Like, what's good for Shedeur might not be good for the rest of the team, and I think they're going to always side on what's good for the rest of the team.
So maybe that's where the difference we have here is that like there's no world I see where Shedeur Sanders is going to just drag the team down so much where the whole game just becomes useless, and it's like we couldn't evaluate anyone or anything because Shedeur just didn't even know how to monitor being a football player. He just has too much experience for me to think that that's ever going to be reality.
I mean, the whole thing about the preseason is, like 3 procedural penalties can interrupt what you're trying to do, which is build confidence for the whole offensive unit and just build rhythm. Like, so much of this is just that rhythm of remembering how to do the football for guys who are maybe second on the depth chart, or guys who haven't taken meaningful reps since last. You got guys coming off injury since last November. Like, again, like I think the Browns are being a little too precious with Shedeur. You and I are going to,
and that's what that would tell you. Like, if they do that with Tyler Huntley on Friday, that's exactly what that would tell you.
But at some point, if you've been super precious, and then you go, well, we need somebody to play 4 quarters. Let's put that kid out there for 4.
I mean, if you can't trust him to go out there for 3 quarters in a preseason game, then he should be taking 0 snaps in any of these workouts that we've seen, or any of these in a 4 quarterback competition. If you really think he's going to hamper the offense so much that he can't play a preseason game to the length that I'm suggesting that he should, again, just then get rid of him then. You don't believe that he's going to ever be anything close to it, and it's just a faulty exercise.
Well, but the stakes might not be as high in, say, the second half of that game as opposed to the first half.
Yeah, I just refuse to think the stakes are ever that high in a preseason game to begin with anyway, though.
I think the stakes are high for a lot of guys going out there on the field, and that's something players get offended at. When we say these games are meaningless, and so treat them as such, it's the most pissed off I've ever had NFL players at me in my life is dare saying, because it does mean a lot to the guys.
But it means
a
lot. But I bet if you ask people like Gage, for instance, who he's turning to Travis Hunter, who he wants thrown to him, he's going to say the guy I've been working day in, day out with, the guy that I've been doing practices with, the guys that I've been
Gage
competing with.
Gage is going to be on the 3rd or 4th team.
No, but he's been throwing. He's been throwing to everybody though, and so like I bet they'd be more comfortable with that than they would a guy that just got there a day ago.
We're talking about whether Shedeur will be starting on Friday in the preseason game or not, and I think I understand the fury of response, and I think you're making a very logical, passionate argument for Shedeur getting a lot of the playing time on Friday. I think people are just pissed about this because I think the second that the Dylan Gabriel news came out and the Kenny Pickett stuff came out, that it's unlikely they are to play on Friday. I think Shedeur fans circled Friday is his opportunity to finally firmly ensconce himself in the quarterback battle with a good performance on Friday's game. So if the Browns don't start him, I can understand if you feel like that opportunity has been kneecapped before it actually was given an opportunity to take off.
Well, it's the sad part about that is that we should be looking at it still like it's exciting, because I'm trying to tell everyone, if I was in charge, Shedeur would have 3 quarters into the fourth quarter. Hell, if he want to play the whole game, he gets to play the whole game, and Tyler Huntley's just there so that you don't play a backup linebacker at quarterback if he goes down injured. Like if I was in charge. The sad part about this discussion, Nick, is that too many people have seen what the Browns have done so far, and I don't think many Shedeur fans or people that want to see Shedeur succeed believe that the Browns are going to do this the way that I'm talking about right now.
So I would just I
hope they prove me wrong. I guess it's wrong or right in both ways.
I think my rebuttal would be, just because Shedeur wouldn't start or get 3 quarters worth of reps or the full game on Friday doesn't mean they don't plan to give him more as this thing goes on. This can still be, even if he doesn't start, or even if he starts but plays a quarter, whatever it is, this could still be the beginning of more for Shedeur.
So but if you're not going to do it now.
I think some people have turned Friday into this all or nothing. I don't think they view it as just an all or nothing thing.
It's not an all or nothing, but if you're not going to do it now, I would ask the question of when you're going to actually do it. And you say, like, oh, well, down the line, they'll get to more in maybe game 2, maybe game 3. Man, maybe they do, but like this is the perfect setup, because you're not. I think some people are getting this confused. Like you're not taking reps away from Dylan Gabriel. You're not worried about taking reps away from Kenny Pickett. Those guys aren't going to be playing on Friday. It's already, and Joe Flacco's not going to be playing on Friday. Like, this is the opportunity to give Shedeur as many reps as possible and let him grow and let him show what he can do.
I look at it and go, I think if you started small, it makes sense to scale the thing. And again, I'm a little dubious about the Browns doing this the right way. You mentioned earlier, we don't have like a proof of concept that they're good at developing quarterbacks. They were really high on DTR each of the 2 last preseasons. And then when the guy played, it was an unmitigated disaster. But I think right now, I don't know that Dylan's hamstring is going to change the plan, which is any rep that you take away from Joe or maybe Kenny Pickett is going to Dylan in service of getting him ready to play earlier in the season. And then once you feel he's close enough to ready, then you can start peppering in more during the season opportunities for Shedeur, maybe on scout team, maybe backup reps here and there.
It's an odd setup, and it's a different. We've never done a 4 quarterback competition that has now turned into having 6 different quarterbacks on the roster, with 5 of them going to have an opportunity here in the next month. But I look at it like, if you're trying to stump for Tyler Huntley reps, it's losing me in many ways.
I don't think it's stumping for Tyler Huntley. I think it's them thinking we have to continue to put Shedeur. He's made this progress. Let's keep that progress rolling by doing this in a thoughtful way.
See, but what I tell you a week ago, I said I was going to get really angry at people that try to position this as the Browns are handling of Shedeur the right way, and they're doing this the right way and bringing him along slowly. And it's like, Shedeur is not asking for any of that. The man just wants opportunities and he wants reps, and he should, based off of everything that he showed previously in college and everything else, he should be given the opportunities to not only have a chance in a preseason game, but not to be treated like someone that is, barely capable of throwing a football.
I think he was a 2nd-round talent, 3rd round at worst. They are treating him like a 5th rounder.
I mean, you can make an argument they're treating him almost like an undrafted signed quarterback more than even a 5th rounder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I could push back that hard on it, but I mean, they are treating him much more. It's funny because Kevin's the king of once you're in the building, draft position doesn't matter, which is the biggest lie any coach has ever told. All coaches say that. It does matter. It matters on who the front office pressures to play. It matters for even little dumb stuff like compensatory if you leave the team in the future. But yeah, I think we know it does matter. It's just what opportunity really is there. I think if you're a Shedeur fan, I don't think you should put all your eggs into this basket as if the sky is falling if he doesn't get what you specifically
it'll
want.
It'll just show where he stands with the Browns in many ways, right? Like, think about it. Remember when we were very young in the business and radio, and it was like, it'd be like being that young kid in the radio trying to break through, and reps are the only thing that matters at that point. Year 1, year 2 of you being in this business, everyone screams, it's reps, it's reps, it's reps. And then it's like, oh, the holidays come by. And instead of giving you a Christmas show, they're just like, hey, so we're just going to go ahead and we got you. We got you come January. We got you come February. We got you in little spots here. It's like, no, if I'm not going to get the opportunity then at the times when they're dying to give it to people, then I'm probably not ever going to get the opportunities here.
I would actually say the two biggest sins in how quarterbacks are ruined is putting them out there too early. I'm not saying that's actually what's happening here, but they might say that. Or 2, just not coaching him up right, which I think is another attempt to make sure you put him out there when he's ready.
And again, I get the putting him out there too early thing. If we're talking about a real game, like it's a preseason game.
This is a real game.
It's a preseason game.
This is real tape. And by the way, it's not even just about Shedeur being ready.
Like, these are the opportunities.
Is Shedeur ready to go on the field and also lead those guys in a meaningful way where he's not getting in the way of them putting good tape out there as well? And that's what they would tell you. Again, I'm just trying to give you what I think the Browns' perspective is, whether I agree with it or not when it comes to Shedeur.
And I would tell their perspective is trash if that's what they think it is. If it's like, oh, he's holding people back, you shouldn't have drafted him. If you can't trust a quarterback to play in a preseason game, then you shouldn't have drafted him. You don't think he's an actual quarterback then?